Hi, have you ever played Pokemon for 33 hours? Me neither, but I did play Pixelmon for 100 days. This video took a complete total of around 50 hours to make, and I would really appreciate if you could leave a like or comment. Anyways, I don't want to hold up too much of your time, so sit back, relax, and enjoy my 100 days in Hardcore Pixelmon. And so begins our adventure. On day one, when I started, I of course had to go with my favorite, Totodile. He's been my favorite since I started playing Pokemon. I have no clue why, but yeah, my only true goal for this 100 days was to level him up to at least level 50, but I was going for level 100. And of course, I would get new Pokemon I wanted to change along the way and evolve, and there would be other goals that I come up with, but my main goal was getting my starter to level 100. I then proceeded to do what anyone does on their first day and collected resources throughout the day. And that took up all of day one. This causes so many problems in the future. I began exploring this cave and I accidentally got in a fight with this Geodude, and as you would expect from a level 5, I kinda got one shot. I decided to spend the rest of the time just mining. You see this stuff? This stuff right here, this bauxite ore? This causes problems in the future. Day 2 was also spent just exploring and collecting materials. While I was traveling, I found this nice little Poke Center to heal up my Totodile. While I was traveling, I found this cool little Magikarp boat submarine thing, and I decided that this is where I was gonna make my home. For now, at least. I didn't want to stay here for too long because I did want to build my own house and build it in a Pokemon style. I just really like the way Pokemon buildings look, and I think it would be dope if I had my own Pokemon style building.
Tentacle.
On day 3, I spent my time exploring, collecting more materials, and I at one point turned into a blueberry, and then I lost another battle. But on the bright side of things, I did find a village to loot. Introduce myself in. The beginning of day 4 consisted of shopping, talking to villagers, and looting the village. And while I was trying to explore the cemetery, this Duskull literally forced me to fight her. She healed my Pokemon so I could fight her. I have no clue what happened to the footage here, but I ended up going to sleep, and this next clip starts on day 5. After that, I continued to explore, and I actually hatched my first egg, and it was a level 20 Pidgey. I continued exploring, and I ended up actually defeating 2 different Pokemon. I didn't realize it was a gym. I then healed my Pokemon and set trail home. On the dawn of day 6, I actually ended up hatching a Squirtle, which I thought was crazy because, like, it's Squirtle, come on. And honestly, I did not expect my Squirtle to be this strong. I mean, just look what I did to this Geodude. Granted, my Squirtle's almost level 30 and this Geodude's only level 12, but we're gonna ignore that. Why are we gonna ignore that? Because Squirtle also one-shot Wooloo, and Rattata, and Raticate. Okay, I didn't kill Raticate, but we did kill Meowth. After a fight with some random Pokemon, my Pidgey actually started evolving into a Pidgeotto, which I thought was dope, and I thought it was so cool that I got an evolution this early on to the game. On my way home, I ended up hatching a Caterpie, and I'm not a fan of any of Caterpie's evolutions, so I didn't plan on using them. On day 7, nothing happened, like, at all. I was looking at quests, and I explored a little bit, and then I found this sunken ship.
Turn to cool.
On day 8, I explored the ocean, and I ended up finding a bunch of Pokestops on this island, which for me meant I could hatch more Pokemon because I would be getting more eggs. I ended up hatching a Cubone and a Slowpoke, which Slowpoke isn't a great Pokemon, but Cubone was pretty good actually. And the rest of the day consisted of me catching a Ponyta and a Zebstrika, I think is how you say it. And my Squirtle evolved into
War Turtle.
I spent the rest of that night and the first half of day 9 traveling home, and on my way home I spotted this Guardian Temple. I had finally got home and I set up a PC to sort out my party, but here's a list of all the Pokemon I hatched on my travel. Execute, Sandshrew, Squirtle, Caterpie, Bulbasaur, Zubat, and Charmander. I then spent the day building out my group and lining it up with Totodile, Wartortle, Pidgeotto, Charmander, Sandshrew, and Ponyta. Obviously this is subject to change, but this was my starting deck. On day 10, I was fishing and I caught a horsey and whalmer, but I had forgot to record. And then on my way to the Poke Center to heal my Pokemon, I ended up hatching a Pikachu. And I get that Pikachu isn't the strongest Pokemon, but I mean, it's Pikachu. I gotta level him up. On my way back home, I hatched 3 more Pokemon, and I realized that when I'm sailing, I travel a lot of distance, so the more I travel over water, the faster I'll hatch Pokemon. On day 11, I started a page in my PC of good Pokemon and Pokemon I wanted to level. I then separated them from what Pokemon were decent and I would eventually use, and everything else was just collateral. At the end of day 11, I traveled to the village, so on day 12, I could go like shopping, buy some Pokeballs and stuff like that. And I ended up getting sidetracked and battling this gym. And I didn't realize it was a gym until about halfway through. And I was very confused because every trainer was invisible. But of course, my War Turtle one-shot almost every single Pokemon they had, so it was no big deal for me. After defeating the gym leader, I decided to just collect a bunch of materials from this cave area underneath and proceeded to head home. I also caught this Carvana. Day 13 was just a repeat of day 11. I researched my Pokemon some more so I could build out the best deck possible, with my Pokemon at least, and then I renamed some of my Pokemon. On day 14, I forgot about the excavation mod and I ended up destroying my entire Magikarp. And apparently I didn't have enough terracotta from the wreckage to rebuild, so I really only had one choice left. I had to move. Just kidding, what the? You thought I was gonna move away from a Poke Center and a village? No, I just went and found another boat and I took all their terracotta. And I ended up spending the whole night remodeling. I'm in a perfect position. You really think I was just gonna up and leave? No, of course not. Not yet, at least. On day 15, I decided I wanted to make a fossil machine and a healer and a backpack. I didn't do everything on that list. From just about the start of day 16 all the way up until the morning of day 17, I spent mining. I needed some iron and a lot of this aluminum ore. The only interesting thing that happened is this Diglett almost killed me, so I had to annihilate him.
Diglett.
Know your fucking place, trash.
I spent about 5 to 7 minutes looking for an aluminum ore just to find out that bauxite ore is aluminum. Why do they have different names? On the morning of day 17, I got out of the cave and I found this trainer, decided to battle him. I lost the fight. And so I went home and I spent the entire rest of the day making these aluminum plates. It took so long. On day 18, I forgot to record, but I ended up crafting a healer, and I show it right there in chat. And then I found this really cool Pokemon, and I didn't realize that I had this 100% catch rate Pokeball in my inventory, and so I ended up just not catching the Pokemon. But once I found it later on, I came back to it, and it was gone. I ended up spending most of the night exploring, and I ended up finding this cool little dungeon thing, and I went to explore it, but I thought maybe I should wait until later on, when I was ready to really explore. Plus, my inventory was already full. On day 19, I traveled home and I made a fossil cleaner and a fossil mission. And that was it. That's all I did today. So let's go on to day 20. And it was at this point where my days really started to speed up. On day 20, I revived a fossilized Pokemon, and then I started looking for a place to build. I ended up finding this island area, and I thought this would be great. On day 21, I decided to start remodeling the area so I could build my new base, and I ended up getting stuck on a waiting screen in a battle, and since I didn't have cheats on, I had to Alt F4, but when I relogged, I was in the same place. I spent the rest of that night terraforming the area just to open up more space to build a house. From this point on, I spend the next probably 18 to 20 days just building, and there's a couple clips here and there where I did something interesting, but almost all of these next 20 days is building, so I'll try to rush through it as fast as possible. And
Marowak.
finally, some interesting things started happening. On day 28, my Cubone evolved but kept his rightful name as Cubeowner, and I spent the next 2 days building. For some odd reason, I can remember traveling home on day 31, and on my way back, I ended up finding this Gyarados, and I thought that was dope, and I had a bunch of Pokeballs, so I tried to catch him, and I found out that I can't catch him, which kind of made me sad, but oh well. And when I went to go get my Pokeball back, I almost drowned. I came so close to death. On day 32, I started exploring in hopes that I would find a new village because I needed more blue wool. I ended up finding a new village, except it took the entire day. I found this church and got a free enchantment table, and my Charmander evolved into Charmeleon, which is dope. I spent all of day 34 making backpacks and food, and on day 35, I teleported back to the village by my house. That night, I ended up fighting this raid thing, and we won. And I got these XP things that I ended up using on Totodile, and he leveled up so much that he evolved into Crocodile. And days 36 all the way through till 41 were spent only terraforming and building, and that's boring to watch, so I'll get through this as fast as possible.
Point Nego.
Chill. Chill.
On day 46, I finished all the small details on my house and I compiled a list of apricorns I wanted to grow. But I wouldn't start this farm until I got back. I decided that I would adventure because I've been cooped up in this area for 20 days now. I really wanted to adventure.
Snorlax.
On day 47, I found this dungeon, and exploring it took about from day 47 to day 48, but there was nothing really interesting in there, so I ended up leaving. I then found this other big temple, which was pretty much the same thing, and I decided I wasn't going to try and loot it. Days 49 and 50 were literally just me traveling, but on the night of day 50, I made a backpack. I also leveled up my Pidgeotto. On day 51, I found this pointless spiral tower thing in the desert, and I thought maybe there'd be a chest at the top, but after wasting all the time to run up there, there was absolutely nothing. I also battled and lost this den. On day 52, I bought a large amount of Pokeballs so I could start catching the Pokemon that I killed from my battles in den.
Why, turtle?
I'm not even going to show the footage, but I wasted a bunch of Pokeballs on a f***ing Gabite. He didn't even get caught by an Ultra Ball. I wasted so many Pokeballs. Day 53 was spent... Fuck, I stuttered. Day 53 was spent just stuttering. God damn it. Day 53 was just spent catching Pokemon. And on day 54, I spent the entire day trying to kill this hippo.
Hold on. Hold on. Challenge. 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 Challenge.
I felt so accomplished. A couple of things happened on day 55, so let's rapid fire through them. I found this dungeon, I fought this den, I found this backpack, bought some Pokeballs, looked at bees, got confused by the bees, I left. Still don't understand the bees. Day 56 was spent catching more Pokemon, and I ended up finding a skeleton.
Diglett.
I tried to evolve Croconaw with a water gem, which obviously didn't work. And when I gave him this small XP candy, he ended up actually evolving into Feraligatr, which I thought was dope. You know, I now had what at the moment was my strongest, most leveled up Pokemon. And I found out that I could ride him. Ah! I spent the rest of the day riding my Pokemon and killing weaker ones just for fun. That is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Day 57 was just another day of catching Pokemon and exploring. That night though, I started deciding to level up Charmeleon because I wanted more max evolved Pokemon. And surprisingly, he evolved the next day. I finally got my Charmander to evolve into a Charizard, and I found out I could ride him as well, and he can fly. I ended up finding this pirate ship, and I really wanted a pirate hat, so I attacked. At the end of day 58, I found out just how strong my Charizard was.
So cool.
Day 59 was spent fighting more Pokemon. And that night, I found two of my new favorite wood types, Amaranth Planks and Plumwood Planks. I mean, just look at the colors on these, they're so pretty. Literally all of day 60 was spent researching a certain group of Pokemon. You guys will understand why later. On day 61, I tried to make a nature's compass, and looking at the recipe, I realized it'd be easier to find one. I accidentally evolved my Wartortle, and I began killing Pokemon for their Ender Pearls. This is why I needed a specific biome, because only certain Pokemon dropped Ender Pearls because Endermen don't exist, and only certain biomes spawn those Pokemon.
For alligator.
From day 62 to day 64, I was traveling. And on day 64, I found this weird chalice, which I guess is used to summon Arceus. I slept at the village, and in the morning I traveled home to empty out my inventory, and that took me 2 whole days. On day 67 and 68, I spent them in the mines collecting other resources, but mainly silicone, so I could make a bike. On day 69, nice, I made Team Rocket's armor set, and this armor is so ugly. I am so glad my iron armor is stronger than it. I also made the bike and a mobile healer along with a new PC. On day 70, I went right back out to exploring. I finished this quest and it gave me 3 free nether stars. That means I could get 3 beacons. And when I completed the next quest, I got 10 blaze rods. This means that I might never have to go to the nether. On day 71, I found another backpack. That's all. Day 72 was spent exploring, and on day 73, this Abra scared the life out of me. So, you know I had to end his. On day 74, I found and battled this psychic gym, but I got tired of the invisible walls, so I broke out, climbed to the top, and just beat the gym leader. Day 75, 76, and 77 were all spent exploring, but on day 76, I evolved Pidgeotto into Pidgeot. On day 77, I went exploring, and on day 78, I found this enchanting table pet, which I thought was pretty cool because this means I don't need bookshelves to get max level enchantments.
When the imposter is sus. Dun, dun.
Days 79 through 83 were spent just hunting Pokemon and exploring, but on the morning of day 81, I did win this badge. And on day 83, I got the final Ender Pearl. While I was traveling home on day 84, I found this shrine that's apparently used to summon Articuno, so I marked it as a waypoint and continued to travel home. After I finished organizing everything on day 86, I made this soul orb thing, only to find out that it needs about 300 souls to fill. I also remembered all the stuff from my old base and decided to go get it. On day 87, I stole a waystone from a village and brought it home, and I started preparing for the Ender Dragon fight. On day 89, I started searching for the Stronghold, and that took all day. On day 90, I arrived in the Stronghold and immediately wasted my last remaining eyes. Yeah, that kinda sucked. Not long after I wasted my eyes, I found the portal. And this meant I had to scour the Stronghold for Ender Pearls, hoping that I would get enough to spawn in chests. I searched the Stronghold for the next 15 minutes, and I didn't find enough eyes. Up until... yeah, I spawned the eyes in on my own. I didn't feel like spending that much time to kill a bunch of Pokemon again. I mean, it took like 20 days before. Who's to say it won't take that long again? If you don't like that I did that, then I'm sorry, honestly. But for the people who don't care, cue the battle music. That was hands down the most difficult dragon fight I have ever been in. I don't know why, but the dragon in this in 1.12 is just so aggressive. I don't get it. I don't know if it's a genuine feature or if maybe it's the mod pack, but the dragon just felt harder to fight. But I'm so glad I got through it. Anyway, after I defeated the dragon, I just went around and collected some various materials. Don't jump in this liquid stuff. I also lost the dragon egg to the portal, and I decided I should probably go get an elytra, not for practical use, but it'd still be a cool collectible. Oh yeah, remember how I said don't jump in this liquid? I'm not good at guessing time in the end, so I'll just say from day 92 till 93, I looked for and looted the end city. And after I was done, I just flew back to one of my portals. To finish out day 93, I went back to spawn and got the dragon egg and traveled home to sort out all my loot. On day 95, I ended up putting away all the Pokemon that I no longer needed. I labeled their box those who served me well, and I got other Pokemon that I felt should get some time to shine since I don't have enough time to fully level them up. I also went hunting for treasure, met God, made hella money off of all my sellable items, and got another elytra for completing a quest. And finally, I took my first nap in about a month. On day 96, I thought it'd be a good idea to start an apricorn farm, so I could start to farm Pokeballs, even though I would never get to harvest it. And building that took all the way through day 96 into day 97. And I really like this. Like, I think if I were to return to the Pixelmon world, I would call this one of my favorite builds, and I'd love to expand on it. I also started preparations for the final day celebration, and this took all the way until day 99. Now, don't get me wrong. I am extremely happy with the way that I ended these 100 days, but I do kind of wish that I could have put more in, you know? I feel like there's a couple different things I could have done that would have had a bigger impact. But, you know, it all has to end one day, and this was it.
Boinego.
Day 100. I spent the bulk of the day sorting my inventory and evolving my Pokemon, just like any other day. But this isn't just any other day. This is the end of a journey. As the sun began to set, I sat atop the tower and thought about everything we've been through, and how you were all there for the ride. So many lessons, rules, and other things that I had to learn just to be able to adapt and survive. I think, just as my Pokemon did, I evolved into having a better understanding of the world of Pixelmon. So, just as we came into this world and watched the sun rise, me and Feraligatr sat atop the tower and watched the sunset one last time together. stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/corrupted. So if you guys ever want to stop by, feel free to. But that was the video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, and I can't wait to see you guys on my next adventure. Goodbye.